Hello.
Hello.
Mm.
We're here.
Okay, we are back. We are still playing in this realm that is the wounded feminine because, well, quite frankly, it's a potent time to be anytime to be dismantling all the things that are holding us back from deeper sisterhood, which therefore is definitely affecting the leadership that we're bringing forward into the world. And today we're continuing with integrity or
Ooh,
lack of integrity is a absolute sign of a space inside of you that is wounded.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
we are going to dive into this one. And I will say, I will start today by just claiming, raising my hand. There was a time in my life where I was not always in integrity. And I could, of course, thank you, sister.
All hands raised
Oh,
over here. Yes.
oh,
Yes.
oh.
Yes.
I used to justify it, of course, around, I've been in corporate sales for almost 20 years now. And so I would justify and say, I do this every day. This is in my day job, which is manipulation, gaslighting,
Mm-hmm.
circling around. You hear the no. And I'll take 4 or 5 no's to get to the yes. When it's like,
Absolutely.
but someone has said no, that did not, was not, will never serve in friendship and intimate relationship. It's not
Mm-hmm.
of service. So what was happening is raising my hand. I'm showing up out of integrity in things in my life that is outside of work of, is this my truth? Where am I feeling the need to blanket over things and not tell the whole truth? Sink that in. The whole truth. There are a lot of people walking around telling themselves a BS story that I am in my sovereignty. I am fully discerned. This is this is my work in the world, or this is how I show up in my life, da da da, behind closed doors. Different story. And it is not being in integrity when the full truth is not being shared.
Yes. And I am also a proponent because I am a very private person. I am a proponent of not feeling obligated to share the whole truth with the whole world. But to the people you owe the whole truth, give them the whole truth. When you don't, whatever your next thing is, whatever you're on to, it's at the expense of the other person, right? So I don't care if you're a leader in a corporate space or some sort of system, or you are an entrepreneur and so you're self led, whatever the situation is, you have the right to change your mind about something. You have the right to change your heart about something and go, oh, this vision and direction and strategy of my organization no longer aligned. I'm moving in this direction. Imagine if, as a leader in an organization, you had that shift and you didn't tell it all. You didn't give the why. You just came out and said, this is what it is. And then you gaslight, like, well, it's always been this. No, it has not. We were doing that last week. That's new. Don't come to me like this is the way it's been and this has always been my expectation of you as an employee or whatever, or in our relationships. You've shifted something and you haven't shared the whole truth with your partner, your sister, your friend, your parent, whomever it is, your child, and they're left holding the bag like, wait, what just happened here? It is deceptive, it is manipulative, and it is at the expense of the relationship of people we say we care about or in business. Change your mind as often as you want. Do it. Change your heart as often as is required. But to the people who are owed the whole truth about your evolution into something else, give it to them. Give it to them. I've seen this a lot, and I'm going to call this forward. So if y'all are out there and you want to be mad, okay. Okay. Nothing I can do about that. Because I'm in the coaching industry, and I know you've seen this too, we see lots of coaches like, this is the thing. This is it. I'm all in. Boom. Here it is. This juicy, abundant offer. Yeah. Ooh. And people get all jazzed up and excited and they're in. And then you notice this person is on to something else. They're not fully present, or they've abandoned the whole thing, or like whatever the case is. And then it's the next big juicy offer. It's the next big thing, which is great. Have multiple offers, have all the things, but something is owed back here. Something is owed. Some sort of explanation as to the shift, the change, what happened. I can't tell you how many things I've been in where I signed up because this is what it said it was. And then I get in, we're moving along, and that person has a shift, a change, a growth spurt. Yay for that. And instead of
Yay for that.
handling this, it's just, this is what we're doing now, and this is how we're going. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's not what I signed up for. So, how do we handle this? There's stuff to be dealt with here.
Mm,
That's what we're talking
mm.
about with integrity. Yes, be in
And
integrity
this
with
is
your growth
when,
and with your shift, but also
please,
be in integrity with the people who may be affected by your shift. That's where there's a breach. That's where there's a compromise in integrity. That's the part that we're talking about.
and the breach is causing this wounded space, not only in that person that's breaching, but the container that they might be
Yeah.
holding. And the other
Yeah.
piece then that you start to mix inside the coaching industry specifically, and then, I mean, there's also ones in the corporate realm where you touched on, and that's like a whole psychological confidence. There's a lot of things that are happening.
Yeah.
But in the coaching space, I mean, you're having a clear and exchange of energy that is from the form of money. So you have people exchanging you tens of thousands of dollars, which I can raise my hand and say, like, yep, I found myself captive in this before. And it would have just felt so nice to have a clear understanding of all the energies that I was feeling inside the space, and me being like, why am I feeling confused? And I once had a dear friend say to me, because I was in like an intimate relationship, this is a long time ago, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm just like confused. He like will do XYZ. It's like confusing to me.
Mm.
And she just so clearly was like, and then that's what you are, Jill. And I was like, I'm confused. Oh, this relationship is confusing. And I do not desire to be in a place of confusion,
Mm.
because that energy is energy I cannot see through. And if I cannot see through it, then I am not fully trusting or feeling I am in a safe place to do my next level growth, my next level evolution. And that is what we are bringing forward in this is like, yeah, it's going to be vulnerable 100% to
Yeah.
be like, I mean, for gosh, like a year ago, my annual retreat, so excited. I offer this amazing thing and you know about it, but like, I'm not going to say it yet because it's not been birthed to the world. Oh, offer it. I speak it. And the women, I had one woman, I'm going to do anything. Like, I'm working. Yes, we're going to work together. Okay, great. And then it's like 2 or 3 months later, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not birthing this yet.
Mm-hmm.
I have to, then I have to go back to them and say, this is on pause. This is actually the direction that I'm going. I really see you inside this. And I hope you can understand. Like, it's just not time for this to be birthed yet. And it's like, God, to swallow that.
Yeah.
But to
Yeah.
not share it, I'm just no
Right.
longer in a place to be um, serving from that fog and letting anyone be in a place of confusion because it wrecked my insides. And I don't desire anyone
Mm.
else to have
Mm.
that experience.
Yeah, I hear you and I see you in that. What you also just brought up for me is, what am I available for? I am also no longer available. Let me put it this way. I'm all out of passes to give. I'm out of them.
Mm,
I've run out of them completely. I don't have any more. Like I reach in my pockets deep, like there are no more passes. This is, and I know we've had these conversations. What we're talking about is bigger than like one or two people in a relationship. This is about the
yes.
collective sisterhood of women across the world. This is that big.
Mm.
And it creates a lot of wounding when we aren't calling this forward. So, what I have also noticed, not so much in the corporate space, but what I've also noticed in this coaching space that is incredible is that because someone is sweet and nice and kind hearted and lovely and just wonderful to be around, we don't confront the lack of integrity. We just say, I'm confused. I don't know what just happened. Uh, I guess they're doing something else, or I guess they've just disappeared. Like I don't know. Like, oh, she's so sweet. She's so nice. I guess she'll like just say something at some point. I don't know. And then we mute ourselves, and then we're on to the next thing, and we have residual energy of that still there. So we're walking into it like, I hope I don't get screwed over this time, or I hope this actually follows through this time, or I hope. So we're walking into it with some energy that's wounded energy, and that person didn't do anything to us. Or we're expecting that this is not going to be held in the most integrous way. We get to call that stuff forward. We get to acknowledge, like, yeah, okay, Stacey, she's sweet, she's nice, she's kind-hearted, she's this. And I signed up for her thing, it was $80 million, and I'm supposed to get all of this. And in the middle of it, she's like, yeah, I don't do that anymore. I now teach jujitsu. So I'm off doing that. Oh,
Could
but
be
she's so
fun, but
nice.
it's not what I signed up for.
Super fun. And that has nothing to do with this. Like, so, like, if we find that there are sisters who are dropping integrity, we do get to call that forward. And we get to say things like, I don't know, make up your own language. We get to say things like, Jill, when you did this or when you said that, I interpreted it as this. I am sure, knowing your heart and just knowing your spirit and who you are, that that is not your intention to leave me or any of the other women in a place of confusion. Can you speak to this, please? Because I know you better than that. And I don't want to let the
And
stories
that's it.
take over.
It's
Like,
taking the
that's
self
bringing it.
responsibility. It's taking the
Yes.
self responsibility too. It's a both and.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. No more passes.
I no more passes. And here's the other thing that's on my heart is around um hmm, feeling confident enough and aware enough of like where and how information is coming to you and like what is your information to share,
Mm,
because there's a lot of juicy, creative, fantastic modalities out there right now today.
mm-hmm,
I mean,
mm-hmm,
people are incredible. I am amazed. um I just sit back and am amazed. Like I'm amazed at what you're creating and the methodology inside Roar and that container and how it moves through, like how the women get to feel and move through it. I'm just amazed at so many things. And I will say, I don't remember when this switched, 2 years ago or something. I was operating in a space of fear to claim other people's work inside my work. Like, I honestly, I was like, what is this about? It
Speak.
was pride. It was definitely pride, which we brought up last episode. Pride will really take you, and it will be a tornado, and it does not
Ugh.
care who's in the path, and it is
Mm,
destructive. And something switched in me of like, I have gathered so much knowledge from books, from mentors, from as you have along this path. And I
right,
call it forward very clearly of there is a certain teaching. I talked about this last time, but it's called the creation process. Inside of it, for me to be able to like put all of these pieces together, it was two different teachings from two different mentors.
right.
And I was like, oh, for me, this is how this lands. Okay. And this is how I serve. And then I've added in different pieces and different things and
Right.
ways. And it's just like, what, where's that coming from? A deep place of woundedness.
Mm. Yeah. Thank you for bringing this up because, again, coaching industry, there is some incredible work being done. So much healing, so much growth, so much development. Oh, it's so good. I marvel all the time at what you're doing in this world. I'm like, whoa, whew, this is big stuff. Like literal transformation of beings. This is big stuff. And if this wasn't divinated, channeled, downloaded directly to you, for your people, you always, and I hope we all do, always say, I got this piece from Dr. Claire Zammit, this piece from Marsha Bench, this piece from Anahita, this piece from Tracy Harvard, this piece from here. The creation of what I put together, yes, that's mine. And here's where it came from. Or I've never experienced any of this. I've never been exposed to any of this stuff. This came to me, and here's what it is. And then it's mine. I own that. And holding that, if you or somebody else comes and they say, actually, so and so has done that kind of work for years, or actually, so and so put that similar kind of thing out decades ago or 2 years ago, or whatever the case is, I get to be in that pride aside and going, yeah, there's that story that comes up like, oh, I thought this was mine. I thought I created something incredible. And maybe I have my way of doing it might be that incredible vehicle that will reach a different audience, reach in a different way. And I get to say, what I've now learned is that there are many authors, teachers, guides, mentors, coaches who have been doing similar work. People like blank, 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 and blank. I was not aware of it when I spoke about this or demonstrated this or showed it. Now I am aware of it and it makes complete sense. Here's my take on it. Here's my ownership of my part in it. When we can put the pride and the ego aside to do that, it maintains the integrity of all of the work of all of us. All of us. All of us. I mean, this is drilled in my head also because being in my PhD program, citations,
Yeah.
it's a big deal. You cannot use someone's work and claim it as your own. It's plagiarism. It is not acceptable. And oh, by the way, did you know you could be sued? Yeah, this is in like
By the
PhD
way,
work. Like you
do you
can't do
know there
it.
are legal
There
ramifications?
are legal
This is where I love our,
ramifications.
our corporate
Cease and
selves.
desist.
Our corporate
You
selves
know,
are like, you know, we gonna get
corporate
we gonna
is
get legal on that.
rising up. Absolutely. PhD me, Dr. Stacy is rising up like, oh, can't do that. Can't do that. And here's the real question. If you don't know, you don't know. And when someone brings it to your attention, you then can't not know it anymore. You then have to be able to say, what is in me that is giving me the feeling and the motivation to keep moving forward in this way when I know different, when I know better? What is that in me? Because if I'm doing it this time, I've probably done it before. And if I'm doing it in this way, in this space, I'm probably doing it somewhere else too.
Sketchy path, sis. The sketchy path. I'll tell you all, there's a
Oh,
really good book by Martha Beck called Integrity. And she
yeah.
gives a good interpretation of walking the path of integrity. You know, I'm actually going to go to one of our mentors because there's a program that both of us are entering into in 2024. And I had a whole download on, I don't even know if I've shared this with you or not. I had a whole download on something. So there's a project I'm working on. This, y'all, I cannot wait when the time is right for her to be birthed. But I had no idea that how I literally have it like laid out, the language is very different. The way in which you move about it is very different. But I could understand if I was her, it would be like, this is
Mm-hmm.
interesting. It's,
Mm-hmm.
7 steps, 8 steps, and you're entering,
Mm-hmm.
blah, blah, blah. And so I will absolutely end my integrity. So everything's clear. Because also she's probably going to be, my mentor is going to be a part of this. It's very clear to bring her in.
Right.
I will have the conversation of, I need you to know this was birthed and downloaded well before I knew anything about the program I'm about to enter in, and was like a full body yes for me. And I think that's also taking self responsibility just to clear the space of
Right.
those that we respect, like,
Yeah, completely. Completely. And I can hear, because women have said it to me, I can hear the voices of women saying, well, wait a minute, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. One consciousness, there's no new idea out there. Okay, I get it. And when do I get to claim what's mine, though? Like everything I do, I have to now go and check and see, did somebody else do it? Like, my
it's
stuff
not
is
what we're
my
saying.
stuff. I
It's not what we're
hear it
saying.
so
Mm,
very clearly.
yep.
And yes, that is not what we're saying. Not at all what we're saying. We are saying, if this is all given to you, dropped into you, and moving forward, and good. Oh, sis, go do it. Have your thing. Yeah,
I'm
have
not
your
out
way.
double
Do
checking
it.
my downloads. I'm not
I'm
out
not
double
double
checking my
checking it.
downloads.
I'm not. But you
Yeah, this
better
is not
believe
what we're
if
saying.
someone brought to me, hey, Stacè, your roar factor framework, actually, Dr. So and so from this, or blankety blank person from this, had something pretty similar. They didn't call it roar, but it's the same steps, same kind of thing. You might wish to have a conversation, or you might want to invite in the idea that maybe this was already out there. And yes, admittedly, you didn't know about it, but acknowledging someone else has also done this kind of work, just acknowledging, because then now I know. So claim your stuff. I'm all about intellectual property. Corporate schmorpity me is like, oh no, we don't play. It's my intellectual property. Do not play about that. And if my intellectual property happens to be based off of someone else's intellectual property, I get to say, this is the intellectual property of Jill Hyman at Awake Journey. And what I took from that is this piece. And here's what I created. And boom, here's my own. Not only do I get to say that, I must. I must, if I'm in integrity with myself. And that's the thing. In the wounded feminine space, there is very little to no self integrity. It's ego driven. And so if I'm not in integrity with myself, it's pretty hard to be in integrity with others. Pretty hard, pretty hard. The other side of that wounded feminine is self sacrifice and the martyr and all of that. Like, I'm not in integrity with myself. I say I'm going to get up and do my yoga or my prayer, my meditation. I say I'm going to really go through this training. I say I'm going to do it and I don't. But on the outside, if you tell me to do something because you're watching, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be in integrity with my word with you. You tell me, oh, I need you to go pick up the dry cleaning, do this, do that. No matter what I've said I have to do, yes, I'm going to go do that. That's also a part of the wounded feminine where integrity comes into
Self-integrity.
place.
Yep.
Like we have to be in integrity with ourselves and
All
we
the
have to be
time.
honest about that, really honest, because it's too easy to go, I'll give myself a pass.
We just had this in Circle Self. And I was like, I released and said, women, it is of your self integrity. Do not commit to something between now and the retreat if you cannot withhold it, because I do not desire this energy when we all come together in person. So it's self responsibility to be in self integrity. So glad you brought that in.
100%. 100%. It also lends to creating that sense of trust, creating the sense of trust. Why are there so many wounded feminine souls walking around? Because they can't trust the feminine.
Mm.
I am not saying I'm on the other side of that. For those who are on the audio only, I'm raising my hand. Trusting feminine energy is new for me, relatively new in my life.
Mm-hmm.
New. I used to operate from a place of just, I don't trust. So I don't even look for your integrity. I don't look for you to honor your word. I don't look for you to be there for me. I don't look to depend on you, rely on you. I just don't because I don't trust the feminine.
Mm.
That's
This
just the
might be our
space I
next
was in.
series. That's the next
That's,
topic. Thank you, Jess, brought it in.
yeah. Boom. And there she
Yeah.
is. So this is new for me. And what I know now, as Dr. Claire Zammit would say, the deeper truth is I was wounded. I was wounded in the feminine.
Mm-hmm.
And so it makes complete sense that I wouldn't trust.
Yeah.
Complete sense. I get to bring that forward in myself, in my own integrity, and going, do I consciously choose to continue to live and walk and be this way when I know my calling is to bring sisters together from around the world? How can I, in integrity, do that when I say I don't trust the feminine? Can't.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. So I get to learn how to trust the feminine, call forward breaches of trust, breaches in integrity in myself and in others to create a stronger sense of safety.
Yeah.
I don't expect you to be perfect. How could I? I am not perfect. I do expect perfect commitment to integrity. I do expect that. I do. And I want you to expect that from me too. And if there's some like flim flam stuff in the air, we can't move forward.
Mutual.
We can't.
Mutual integrity spaces. Mm.
Mm. Mm, 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 mm,
Well,
mm,
well,
mm.
well. This was a juicer.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for you and how you walk through the world. And we are so grateful for all of you out there that have been listening, keep showing up, keep tuning in. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you
Yes.
for liking.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, we
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
we'll see you all next time.
I love you.